Hello, my name is Susan Baker. I am a neighbor of the Youngers here in Claiborne Park. I remember the first day the Youngers moved into the neighborhood. They were so happy. Walter and Ruth were holding hands, and he carried her over the threshold. Travis ran into his new room. He was so excited, for this was something he had never had before. Mama carried the plant inside and sat on the window sill in the kitchen. She looked outside and remembered her husband had walked her. She knew he was smiling from above, for he was happy at the family's new life. Beneatha came running into the house with a bottle of wine. Everyone came in the kitchen and she poured them a glass, except Travis and Ruth. Ruth couldn't drink because she had decided she was keeping the baby. Ruth and Travis got a cup of water. They all clinked their cups together and Beneatha yelled, "To a new and improved life." Although life seemed great at this moment in time, their neighbors were still very prejudiced towards them. Mr. Linder was the president of the neighborhood committee. He, like many others on the board, didn't like the Youngers family's decision to move into Claiborne Park, especially since they did not accept their monetary offer. One night during the neighborhood meeting, Mr. Linder and others on the board decided they were going to make the Youngers miserable, which would make them want to move. Later during the week, Mr. Linder and some other neighbors, James David and Lou Gates, went to the Younger family's house and vandalized it. They wrote on the side of it, "You niggers need to leave. You are not welcomed here." The family was shocked and angered, especially Walter. He told the family he was going to Mr. Linder's house and was going to knock that cracker right in his face. Mama and Ruth begged him not to go. "For the sake of the family," they exclaimed. Later that day, Mama went into town and bought some white paint. She then asked Walter if he would paint over the writing on the side of the house, so he did. Later that night, Mama told the family they were strong and their prejudiced neighbors couldn't drive them away. Mr. Linder knew they were going to have to do more in order to get the Younger family to leave. He saw Mama working in her garden one day, and then he thought of the perfect plan. He, along with some other neighbors, destroyed Mama's garden on a Sunday afternoon, while the Younger family was at church. When they returned home, Mama was devastated. "Walter had enough," he said. "That's it, I'm going over there." Mama fell to her knees and began to pray. She said, "Please help these people realize that we are good people and just want to live in peace. Also, please help my son realize that violence is not going to solve our problems." When Walter showed up at the Linder's house, he changed his mind. Instead of beating Mr. Linder up, he said to him, "Nothing y'all do to me and my family will make us move. Please stop this mess." Soon the neighborhood had a change of heart because of my husband, Tom Baker. Tom Baker became part of the board soon after he saw the mistreatment being done to the Younger family. He was the kind of person who had a way with words, which could make you believe almost anything. He told the members of the board to give the Youngers a chance because they might not be too different from them after all. Of course, there were people like Mr. Linder who opposed this plan, but many agreed with Mr. Baker, and they decided to give the Youngers a chance. I went over to the Youngers and sat with Ruth and Mama. They offered me coffee and were the nicest people. We talked about our children, since they are around the same age. From our talk, it sounded like my son John and Travis could be great friends. Once the neighbors looked beyond the color of the Youngers' skin, they accepted them. Of course, Mr. Linder and some others couldn't look past their prejudiced views, so they moved out of the neighborhood. Travis plays with all the other kids in the neighborhood. I am happy to say Ruth and I became great friends. We sit and drink coffee together every afternoon. She recently had her baby girl and named her Adia, which means a gift from God. Walter talks to the other guys and goes fishing with them on Sunday afternoons. Beneatha became a doctor and recently married a saw guy. They live in a house down the street in Claiborne Park. Mama has a great big garden and always has a great big smile on her face because she is thankful to God. Although the Younger family experienced hardships, it brought them together. They know with the strength of family, they can handle anything life throws their way.